Hello friends and welcome to a new video. Today I want to do this kind of art haul since I bought some new art supplies, and the fact is that there were some discounts, so I wanted to take advantage of, and I want to test them all in my sketchbook so that I can see and you can see too how they perform. And yeah, I hope you'll enjoy this video. This is basically an empty watercolor box because I bought some Godet and I don't have any space anymore to put them in. So yeah, this is a solution for this problem, and I got it from Romance Small, which is a watercolor brand. So they also cost a little bit less than Schminke boxes. I think I paid 10 euros for this box, while Schminke cost like twice the price. Look at this fancy sharpener. I bought it from Blackwing, which we all know that Blackwing is such elegant and nice brand, but it costs too much. So I bought it for doing long tips for my pencils because the sharpeners I have are a bit shorter and the tip is not as pointy as I want. So yeah, I'll try it later and see how it works. So these are some Neo colors and Caran d'Ache colors. These are like watercolor sticks, but at the same time they work as colored pencils. So I'm going to show them later if you don't know what Neo color is. And these are the famous Caran d'Ache pencils. I bought a few of them, and of course I'm going to test them later. So these are some Godet, as I told you before, and these are Schminke and Winsor Newton professional watercolors. I don't think I've bought other brands other than these. And yeah, I'm going to put them later in the metal box I bought, and I'll show you how it will look in the end. So this is everything I bought from Arte Miranda shop, which is a Spanish shop that ships worldwide, so you can buy from them if you want. They were running a discount, so this is the reason why I bought some watercolors. I think the discount was only about watercolors and not on the other art supplies, but anyway, it was a very nice occasion to buy something from them because they have such a huge variety of art supplies. So this is from an Italian art shop, which is called Amicucci, and I wanted to try the Pebeo Colorex. These are liquid watercolors, and I saw they work very well for line art as well. So I wanted to try a few colors because they cost very little. So if they're good enough, I go for them. And then they were running a promotion on Copic markers and Pro markers, and so I bought a few shades that I didn't have in my collection. And here I have two very little, very thin brushes that I'm going to use for the line art with this Pebeo Colorex. And yeah, this is what I got from this Italian shop, and now I'm going to test everything. So I usually don't throw the labels because I need to know the color numbers in case I have to replace them. And what I usually do is taking a piece of paper, then writing down the number and doing a swatch of the color. I usually put yellows first, then oranges, reds, violets, blues, greens, and all the earthy tones at the end. It's like the standard palettes have this kind of color distribution, so I use the same rule. There are basically a couple of dark yellows because I didn't have any of them. And then an orange color, again, I didn't have an orange. And Pearland Violet, actually, I already have this color. So I want to put it into different palettes. The one that I use for traveling and the other one that I keep at home and use for illustrations in general. Then I bought the ultramarine and indigo shades because I was running out of these colors in my other palettes, and a cobalt turquoise light because it seemed too nice, so I bought it just because I like it, and the rose sienna and burnt sienna because I again was running out of them, and burnt umber since I've never bought it, I don't know why, so I felt it would be necessary to have it in my palette. Well, I thought the Colorex had an eyedropper and it hasn't. So I'm a bit mad because I usually like to have an eyedropper when using liquid ink or liquid watercolors because otherwise I have to dip the whole brush inside and I don't like my brush to get so dirty. And yeah, anyway, I think that the colors are very vibrant on paper. They are very similar to the Ecoline, even a bit more vibrant in some cases. And of course, they cost very little, so I think it's okay if they're not perfect because I've only bought them to do some line art and some experiments. So now I'm going to do some sketches and then I'm going to do some tests, like a combination of different tools that I bought. And for the first sketch, which is a little portrait, I'm going to do first the line art with Colorex ink, and then I'm going to paint on top with watercolors, the ones that I bought. Anyway, my hands are a bit shaky because I didn't warm up today, so my first drawings are usually a bit messy. So now I'll go on top with watercolors and I want to see whether the line art smudges or not. And as you can see from the very first second, the line art smudges so much. Basically, this is a confirmation that Colorex is watercolor. So this means that like all watercolors, it reactivates with water. So, of course, if you paint with watercolors on top of watercolors, then everything will be a bit messy and smudgy. And yeah, now I've learned the lesson that I don't have to use watercolors on top of Colorex. So I have to first paint with watercolors and then I can do the line art with Pebeo Colorex. Now I'm going to do the same thing for other drawings. So in this case, again, I'll paint first the lines with Colorex and then I'll go on top with markers like Pro markers and Copic markers that I bought and see whether the line art smudges this time. I think it will smudge like in the first case, but let's see at the end. As you can see, the line art isn't smudging so much. I mean, it looks pretty clean, so I think it's okay if you color with Copic markers or other alcohol markers on top of the Colorex line art. I usually like to do the line art at the very beginning because I like to have everything clean and polished before using watercolors or other colors. So these are just 2 tests, but I want to do even more tests with these Colorex watercolors because I want to understand how to use them in my process. And now I want to use the new colors and the color pencils. And I have to say that the new colors are new for me. This meaning that it's the first time I'm using them, so I still have to learn how to use them. I've learned that you can use them dry on the paper or wet on the paper. As you can see the texture. It's almost like wax. It's very, very soft and it has a nice grainy texture. And on the second flower, I'm drawing again with dry neocolor on paper, but then I go with a wet brush and smudge everything. And in this case, it's like you've painted with watercolors and then you went with pencils on top. I mean, you have this level of transparency like watercolors, but at the same time, there's still texture underneath. So yeah, it's an interesting tool. Now I use a nail color to draw the lines of a cloud. Then I smudge everything with water. And then I use nail color on wet paper. And I like this effect like granulating watercolors. So I feel nail colors can be used in a lot of ways and for different purposes. Now I'm testing markers and nail colors because I really like this texture, this grainy texture that reminds me of Riso prints. And I also love the contrast between the smoothness of markers and then the textures of nail colors. I think it's really pretty. And now in the end, I want to use the sharpener. I want to see if the tips of my pencils will be very, very sharp and pointy. But unfortunately, this doesn't work with Caran d'Ache pencils because they're too big, too thick. So I'm going to use my polychromos, and with polychromos, it works. This is a good news and a bad news. It means that if I buy more Caran d'Ache pencils, I can't sharpen them with this sharpener. But anyway, I'm very happy that the tip is very sharp and point once the pencils fits the sharpener. So I think it's a confirmation of black wing quality. So yeah, these are my art tools and I hope you like this little art haul and these tests. Let me know in the comments if there's anything in this video that you liked, like a tool in particular. And thank you for watching this video and see you in the next one. Bye!